Yeah. Back home, we're like, oh, this is late.
Yeah.
I'm Sara France. This is Jessica Van. We're going to talk to you a little bit about building your tribe. I wanted to start off with this quote because it really represents my business as a whole, where I started and where I'm at now. If you want to go fast, go alone. That's where I was for a very long time. If you want to go far, go together. And that really is something that's a continual mantra for us and our team. And I want to tell you a little bit about our business structure before we kind of delve into that. This is our team of 5. We're currently in 3 different cities. So we have San Diego, Austin, and Hawaii now. And just from left to right, we have Kira. She's part of our Austin team. Mackenzie is right next to her, the blonde. She's also part of our Austin team. Myself and Jessica, the redhead, are in San Diego. And the blonde in the middle there is Rachel. She is starting off our Hawaii branch. Yay! So we are obviously a team of 5. And it's really great to have the team structure and to be able to not only have we don't really like the word associate. We hate that word, so that's not really how we describe ourselves. We are a team, and you can hire any one of us individually. We also have packages that include 2 or more of us as well.
So we're going to go into a little bit of who we are, just to give you guys a general description of us. First of all, we are a creative force of female photographers. Sorry, guys. There's only girls on our team, but this will still apply to you if you want to make your own team or join a team yourself. We are a team of 5, as Sara was saying, but that's expanding. We're actually currently looking for new photographers in different cities.
Some of those cities are like Denver,
Nashville.
Let's see. Well, we may go
Seattle.
East Coast.
There's a couple different places. We have high hopes for a lot of them.
We love San Francisco, but also some closer to home. We're also looking to expand a little bit closer, like Orange County, and for Austin into Dallas.
Yeah.
I think Rachel's gonna be fine covering all the islands on her own.
Yeah.
So
she's like, I got this. Don't worry, guys. Right now, we are currently, as Sara was saying, San Diego, Austin, and Hawaii. People often ask us kind of how we chose these spots, and to be honest, the people that we hired actually chose the spots themselves. We kind of look for the people that we want as members on our team, and they just so happen to fit into those places.
yeah.
And then we're also all entrepreneurs with different strengths and roles. We'll kind of go into that a little bit later, but we definitely we all kind of have distinct roles on our teams that help us kind of fluctuate what everybody does to help out.
And being a team of all entrepreneurs is a really unique thing as well. I think there's a lot of structures out there where it's like, I am this person, and then I have associates. And really what that says to the client, in my eyes, and also what makes it difficult for business, is that if they want you, but if they can't get you, well, they can have this other person, which doesn't really translate as something I would want. It's not really something that I feel like my clients would want. And so we have a really great energy, and also I don't want team members who just want me to be the entrepreneur and they're just leaning on me for everything and just looking to me. So we're all a team of entrepreneurs. We talk about ideas, we come up with business plans, we do all of it together, and that just makes for so many more resources.
When I first joined with Sara, I made it very apparent that I didn't want to be an understudy. I had my own business going on, and I didn't want to be like the second choice. So we've built our team around that idea. Sara's going to tell you guys a little bit how we started, just to give you an idea.
I'll give you a quick breakdown because we get these questions a lot, but this is just kind of a year breakdown. I was in business for 10 years on my own. I never enjoyed being a solo shooter and being completely by myself, so I hired a studio manager like from the get-go. I was like, somebody come in and work with me. I don't understand working by yourself. It's so lonely. So then it wasn't until 2012 that I found like the right fit. My other half that I felt like, okay, this is gonna, I can really make her a part of the business and feel confident that she's gonna be able to show up to weddings and represent my brand that I had built for over the last 10 years. But then like we said, I did not like the associate structure. So I definitely didn't, I wanted something different, but we needed to kind of build it from scratch. But I love the idea that her and I could be the same price. And so when she started in 2012, she wasn't quite there yet, but now we price ourselves the same in San Diego, which is great. In 2013 is when Rachel joined the team. She was an intern at the time, and we both felt like she would be a really great addition to the team as well. And then that was our team in San Diego. It wasn't until a few years later that we launched Austin, and I think that was kind of like a really unique thing. Everybody was like, wait, you just literally went to another state, like why? And it really was about Kira. She had flown out to San Diego so many times and interned for me over the summers, and she had just gotten her degree in photojournalism, and she was like raring to go and excited to start her own business,
hungry.
But she wasn't going to move to San Diego. So yeah. I really wanted to help her launch that, and so we just decided the best fit was to start France Photographers in Austin, and that was the best way that her and I could continue to work together. And
actually helped put a lot of like things in place for our own business too, because we had our own little like group in San Diego, and we're like, okay, we got this thing rolling, and we're like, oh wait, we need to be accountable to a whole nother person in a whole nother state now.
Yeah, right. And we had to have a lot more systems in place because we were dealing with somebody who wasn't just in our space all the time. So that was really important. In 2017, Mackenzie joined the team. That was just a year later, and Kira found Mackenzie. Kira and Mackenzie met at a Rising Tide event. It turns out they used to play tennis against each other in high school, and they just really bonded. Mackenzie was in a unique space in her life and in her business, because she had been in business for a few years. She was shooting like 20 to 30 weddings a year, but she was pregnant and she was about to have a baby, and she was working 80-hour weeks, and she needed to somehow keep her volume but go down to working 20-hour weeks. And so that's what happened when she came onto the team. She now works 20-hour weeks. She has a new baby, and she's able to shoot as much as she wants and not be as concerned about the volume that she's taking on. And then this year, Rachel's moving to Hawaii, which is launching our Hawaii branch. So she's going to start the Hawaii branch. Hopefully we'll find a counterpart for her in Hawaii, and we're excited. Aloha, everyone. We're going to Hawaii.
When she told us she was moving, we were like, oh, and then she was like, but I'm going to Hawaii. We're like, yay, let's do this. We're going to talk about a little bit of why teams are so awesome. First things first, life is just better together. I know that this business can be really lonely when you're sitting on your computer, 5 days a week by yourself. So as soon as I was even interning with Sarah, I was like, oh my God, there's another person that I can hang out with. Because it can get really lonely at times.
Also, a big piece of this for me and for all the team members is really the inspiration, the learning, the ideas. There's such a difference between I shot a photo and Jessica's like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. How did you do that? Or if I saw a photo of Jessica's and we weren't team members, and I'd be like, so pretty. How did she do that? There's just a difference. I probably wouldn't call her up and be like, hey, tell me all your settings. What did you do? So there's a sharing. We're constantly learning. Anytime somebody feels like something's important to share with the rest of the team, we share it right away. We're always talking on social media. We're always talking over text. We're always having FaceTime conversations, in-person conversations, and we're shooting together. So we're constantly have a feed of inspiration and ideas and learning.
I was like, the first time you showed us a Sony camera, I was like, what is that? And now we're all moving to being Sony
done
shares.
That to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
I always talk about it like it's a storefront with multiple front doors. So not only do we have a team website, everybody has individual websites. Same thing with Instagram. We all have our own individual ones as well as a team one. But also, as far as going out and meeting vendors, we're all creating those relationships with clients, with vendors, coordinators, things like that. So it's just all kind of feeding the beast.
We also have shared costs and responsibilities, and I think this is a really big one, because when you think about it, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, I'm joining a team. Does that mean I'm going to make less money? And in our case, because we share so many expenses, everybody's able to make the money that they want to make and have less responsibility or only focus on the things that they want to do. But there's shared costs like Dropbox and website and advertising and like all of those things that you think about. Business costs, we only have to pay one accountant. We have to pay,
That was huge.
bookkeeper.
I hated doing bookkeeping, and I was like, wait, you're going to do my booking and pay the person to do it?
And you're going to do my
I'm
sales
in.
tax?
Yeah.
And you're going to do my business licenses? And
Yeah.
So we can really share all those costs and responsibilities. So that's a huge, huge piece of it.
You also have a larger bank of images. This is great for clients. Like if I'm an only shooter and I am only shooting rustic weddings and I have a luxury client coming to me being like, show me luxury weddings because I want to hire you, but I don't see anything that would represent my wedding. If I second shoot a wedding with Sarah that is a luxury wedding, I can show that to that client because I shot that wedding with her. But we also have images for coordinators, more images to pull for coordinators and vendors,
And venues.
websites. Yeah.
Venues especially, a lot of times they want, like, in order to be on their list or whatever, you have to have shot like at least 5 weddings there. And that's hard to do as a single shooter when you're shooting like 15 to 20 high-end weddings a year. And so it's really nice to have that larger bank of images.
Yeah.
Security is another big piece. Really, the security that I know that if I wake up deathly ill, I have people that can show up and be ready to go, and that the style is going to be cohesive. I know the client's going to be taken care of in the way that I want them to be. But also, I mean, there's also shared like gear and things like that, that if I know that if one of my lenses breaks or I have an issue with it, that she's going to have one as well. So it's really nice to have that extra security. But, I mean, we'll talk about this later. But
Yeah.
security, just knowing as well that if something happens, if I get sick, my clients are going to be taken care of.
That literally happened last year.
Yeah.
I was deathly ill and like could not get out of bed, and I was so sad. I was trying the whole morning to just rev up and be able to do this, and Sarah was already second shooting with me, and Rachel called me right away and was like, what do you need? I'm here for you. And Rachel ended up shooting the wedding with Sarah, and the bride was sad because I wasn't there because I had built this relationship with her, but she was totally trusting of the girls. She was like, okay, let's do this. I'm super excited you girls are here. And she's one of our like favorite brides. She just loves us. So
Yeah.
it was really nice. You can do what you love and live the life you want to live, as cliche as it is, but you really can. For me personally, I just got married 2 years ago, and me and my husband want to travel as much as we can before we start a family. And the girls allow me to do that because when I'm in Costa Rica for 10 days, they're responding to leads. They're talking to my clients. They're doing the album design for the wedding that I shot. They're culling and editing all the things that I shot before I got on a plane. And I don't have to worry about it because my clients are still taken care of, and they don't feel like, oh, well, she's not taking care of me because she's in Costa Rica for 10 days.
It's nice too because you can still share images that you're in Costa Rica and be excited because
Yeah.
the clients are like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about posting on Insta stories. Like, we're having a good time.
The focus on your strengths is something we're going to lean into a little bit more during this conversation as well. But when anybody joins the team, the first thing that we do is have them take the Strength Finder. Has anybody taken the Strength Finder assessment? Okay, so it's online. We're going to share a link later for our resources page that'll give you a link to StrengthsFinder. And StrengthsFinder is a great way to lean into exactly what you are gifted at. And it might give you like it's not like you're really great at blogging. It's I'll share an example. One of mine is Maximizer is what it's called, and it means that I'm really good at taking something that's good and making it great. So I want to take everything that's like, okay, that's good. But I'm like, we're going to take it this extra step and I'm going to make it great. So that's one of my strengths. And we try to make sure that I have time and energy to really, really focus on that strength and lean into it. And that translates into specific things in our business. So I'm definitely the one in charge of like the overall vision of the company. I'm definitely in charge of like making sure that we are focused on a direction and helping everybody to clarify what that direction is.
And creating those roles on a team, just make sure everybody knows what they are doing. Everybody knows who to go to when they need help with that specific thing. It just creates a lot of focus.
Well, and Jessica, we still have a couple strengths in our team that we're actually looking for specifically, but Jessica's works really well with mine. Activator is what it's called, right? Achiever. Achiever is like, she loves to make lists and check things off, and all I love to do is add things to her list. So we work really well together.
Yeah.
Although the list never ends, so that's
It's like a yin and yang kind
Yeah.
of thing. So now you know why it's so great, but then you're like, how do I find these people? It's the toughest part sometimes. Number one is be visible. This is huge. Be out in your community, be educating, be coming to conferences, be putting it out on social media, talk to people, tell people that you're trying to do this. I met Sarah because she was speaking at a conference and she put it up on her blog that she was going to be there. I wanted to meet her in person, and that was literally how I found her.
Yeah. Be persistent is another one. And just to step back for a second on be visible, if this isn't your thing, like not everybody wants to like be a presenter or be an educator, you can still be out in your community and still be out talking to people. I mean, Kieran McKenzie met at Rising Tide. They just met over coffee, and neither of them are interested in being presenters or educators, but they like the one-on-one. So there's a lot of ways to be visible without being visible like this. But being persistent is another thing. If you're an owner looking for your team, you need to be persistent. Continue to put it out there. You may feel like you said it like 50 times, but just keep going. But on the other side of that too, if you are a team member and you are looking, or maybe you don't know you're a team member, but you love this idea, just start putting out that you love the idea of being a part of a team, or maybe just connecting with those people that you feel really are people that you would value being a part of their business.
Yeah.
When Jessica met me, she didn't have a business card on her, and so she's like, "Can you please stay here? I'm gonna run and get my business card." She apparently ran like 5 blocks to go get her car, and came back, and I didn't know. I was just hanging out with more people after the class, and she hands me a business card, tells me like she'll like serve me water or like do my blog posts or carry my bags or whatever. And I was like, you are so sweet. This is so nice. But of course, I didn't do anything with that. I like took her business card and I was like, that was really nice. She was really great.
Nothing. Dead silence.
Dead
I was
silence.
like,
but when I posted that I was looking for an intern, she responded with like a very long email. Again, with how excited she was, a link to the blog post that she had done after my presentation with my workshop, and I was like, this girl is legit. Like, but she was persistent. So you just have to keep at it until you find the right people to be in a team with.
Yeah. Another one is be clear. We really tell people it's super important to actually make a list of everything you have to do in your business: editing, polling, blogging, financials, literally everything, whether you like to do it or you don't like to do it. But once you make that list, then go through and say, am I passionate about doing these things? If you are, great. If you're not, you need to find those people, and you need to be clear on who those people are and what roles you're needing to fill in your tribe.
And we do this every year during our retreat. So every year during the retreat, we take the list back out, and everybody answers like yes or no on every single thing. So it's like, are you passionate about blogging? Believe it or not, there's someone on our team who is. So I was like, yes, we got that one.
And Rachel used to be passionate about that, and then we overworked her, and she became not passionate about it anymore. So
we have to be careful not to do that to Mackenzie too. Yeah. So, but it's really great to figure out those holes. If you don't have a team, you can figure out how to outsource those things too. But of course, it's really nice if you've got somebody who is already very attached to making sure that your branding, your vision, like all of that is very clear. But there are a lot of ways to outsource those things until you find those team members. And even when you have a team, there's still no one in our team who wants to edit all of our weddings. So we use Shoot.Edit to do the majority of our post-production. Yeah. And we keep the things that people are passionate about. It's a really great way to, and be clear about that. When you put that out there to people, these are the things that I need help with. Somebody is out there going, I want to do blog posting, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Be open is another one. And this is really about being flexible. When you have your own business, a lot of times it's like, this is how my business is. This is the kind of person that I want in it. But then when that person comes, there might be like little adjustments here and there that you can make in order to make the business work for both of you. So you need to sit down with that person and say, like, okay, like, what's your vision? What do you want? When we first sat down together, it was, I needed her to basically take her business and say, okay, everything that comes to me, all leads, all bookings are coming into the team. And that was a big ask, like right away I was like, you have to be 100% in with me. I've never done this because she was the first team member. I'm like, these are my ideas. This is what I think we're going to do. But I didn't have anything to say, this works, like I've done this. And so, but that was a conversation. It was rough. I had to have it with her. She went back. I told her I wanted her to sit on it and think about it. She sat on it for a little longer than I wanted, but it was
Made her sweat.
3 days. And then we went out to dinner, and I was like, oh my God, she's quitting. Like,
I was doing small talk for like 10 minutes, and she's like, just tell me your answer.
I'm like, I got the cocktails on the table. Just tell me what's going on.
I'm ready to cheers.
She's like, I'm in. Let's do this. And so, but that was a rough conversation. It took flexibility on both of our parts. I was scared. I wanted to make sure I could feed her. And she was scared. She wanted to make sure I could feed her too. So, but it continued. It may not be a perfect match of exactly what you think it's going to be, but if you're flexible to see if that is really the match, if you're just flex a little bit.
Yeah. And be patient. This is huge. It took us, as you saw earlier, 6 years to get to where we are. Sarah was a shooter solo for 10 years, just waiting for me to pop into her life.
I started shooting when I was 12. Let's just be clear. There's a lot of years getting thrown around.
But it definitely takes some time. So just be patient.
Yeah. This is a big, sorry, my earpiece is coming in. This is a big piece of really how what we feel is our success as a team is building a team of owners. And that comes from having entrepreneurs who really feel like they can stretch their entrepreneurial wings and be part of this team and create the team cohesively.
So now that you found your people, how do you keep them and keep them happy?
And let me just say on this, like, this is probably the number one issue that I hear about.
Yeah.
Is that people, I found this person, I trained them, everything was great, and then they decide to just go out on their own, right?
Yeah.
So we now have 5 team members, not one has left us. We didn't have a mystery 6 or something. So I feel like this is really gonna be helpful. Okay?
We only have about 5 minutes, so we might have to cram these in. But transparency. Be open with your teammates, the good, bad, and the ugly about the business. Sarah was like that from the get-go, and it really made me be able to trust her. I wanted to show her the good, bad, and ugly of everything, too. It just created this sense of trust that we could do anything, and it's okay because we're in this together.
Yep. Generosity of time, generosity of your knowledge, generosity financially sometimes. I give her lots of gifts. But I really feel like that just spirit of generosity will make everybody generous together.
Yeah, just feeling appreciated.
Yeah.
Flexibility, this is kind of the same thing. Like, if somebody wants to have a baby, you guys need to be able to flex the business and be able to, like, support that person. Rachel moving to Hawaii, we were like, okay, let's do this. We're going to figure it out.
Luckily, she didn't move to, like, the middle of Minnesota
Timbuktu.
or something. Yeah. It's like, oh. Goal development. This is something that we do, each of us. I sit down with each of the team members, and we sit down together and really talk about our individual goals, like family, what we want to make. And sometimes that's, like, a little surprising. I'm like, are you sure you only want that many weddings? How about we go with this many weddings, Yeah. So but understanding what the motivation is, understanding what their goals are, and then helping them reach those goals, and then understanding what that means for the business. And we do quarterly checkups with each of the team members. I also do bi-weekly meetings. So every other week I meet with each team and we talk about what's going on in that city, what we're doing, and we move forward. And we use like team goal development as well, like Asana. Has anybody used Asana? Asana is really great when you have a team of people and you're trying to get tasks and stuff done. So we go over that as well.
Be selective. The culture of your team is very important. So as we were saying, be flexible, but also be very selective on who you bring in, because one bad egg can really ruin a lot of things. So we're very selective on the people that join our team, mostly personality-wise. I mean, the work that they produce is very important too, but a lot of that can be trained. So it's really personality, like energetic, optimistic, positive.
And most of the time, we don't find out about their personality unless we've seen their work and we already got past that part. So
Well, yeah.
we're like, oh, okay, their work's good. I guess we could talk to them.
Yeah.
The other thing is team support. Like, I feel like we are constantly, all of us are on text. We FaceTime each other. We don't just call each other anymore, especially if we're not in the same, we don't like FaceTime in the same room, but we also spend as much time together as we can, and we not only support each other in business, but in life. So if you come to a meeting and you obviously something else is on your mind, we start with that. Like, what's going on that is blocking you from this meeting? And then let's talk about what's really going on.
Yeah. It feels like a family. It's a
Yeah.
business, but we're sisters. Percentage of sales. This is really big. Nobody feels like they're just being, a paid shooter to come to a wedding and produce images and then that's it. It's more of like a commission. Like, I want to go out and get more clients and sell more albums and meet more coordinators to get the bigger weddings, because that means I get a bigger percentage of the sale.
Yeah. And it's easier to talk about goals because I'm like, how much do you want to make? Okay, great. Like, this is how many weddings you need to book. This is how much you need to do.
Yeah.
And when Mackenzie first joined the team, her percentage of sales was something that we talk about as like, if this is going to be a good fit for her. And she actually sat down without me and looked over it, and I gave her like, this is our percentage that you get. This is, all the stuff we're going to take off your plate. And this are all the expenses we're going to take over as well. And when she went through and looked at it, she came back and said, well, I'm only losing 5% and I'm cutting 60 hours a week off my schedule. So she was like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, treat your team as owners is the other one. I just wanted, like, I've talked about it a little bit, but really when it comes down to decisions for the business, I don't dictate where it comes to, I don't, like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is how it is. Like, if there's something that's an idea, I always present it as an idea. This is what I'm thinking. This is, and we have group discussions, and we ultimately come to a group decision. And that is really, can be tough for a single shooter who's like been doing their business by themselves all along. So, but it is a huge piece of building a team that feels valued and that feel like owners and that are consistently pushing the business forward.
And structure. We've touched on this a lot, but I just want to touch on it one more time. It just creates the roles for people that they should really flourish in, that they love being in. And it just helps the team know who to go to in the times that, like, oh, I need to write a blog post, I need to go to Mackenzie, I need a new Instagram photo. It just creates a lot of synergistic pieces to the team that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah. And if all else fails, just dance it out. We have like daily dance parties.
Yeah.
If we're feeling stressed, we just turn on some music and let it flow.
Yeah.
If you saw us on the dance floor last night,
Oh, God. We have this website for you guys. We made a resource page. It's books, online pieces, podcasts that we love listening to. It's Entrepreneur, it's StrengthsFinder, it's pretty much anything that we've loved as a business to help create the team that we have.
thank you.